When we recently compared the new Corolla to the Elantra, most of you got the hint on why we gave the Octavia a miss. For those of you who didn't, well, there was a facelifted and an updated version of the Octavia on the horizon, and that's what we have with us here today.
The Octavia name made a comeback into India a few years back. And since then, it went on to become the second bestseller in the segment despite charging a premium. The midlife makeover breathes fresh air into the car to help it maintain a strong run and perhaps even lead the charts. Majority of the updates are cosmetic, and I won't judge you if you haven't noticed the obvious changes.
In the last 3 days that I've spent with this car in Chandigarh, hardly anyone has noticed this to be a different looking car. To me though, the face looks alarmingly different than the outgoing model.
The sleek headlights of the Octavia are now split into two pods that separate the high beam and the low beam. The treatment feels quite similar to the previous generation E-Class, while the detailing is an evolution of what we have seen already on the new Superb. Initial reactions hint towards a polarizing design overall, but this car is quite handsome in person. LED lamps replace the previous units and claim to bring energy savings too.
Skoda claims that the use of the LED lamps alone is bringing down the emissions by 1 gram per kilometer. Now that may not sound very significant, but it's high time that we start taking note of these kind of things. Furthermore, the LED headlamps are the adaptive kind, which means that they not only auto level, but they'll also adjust the intensity and the spread of the light depending on the surroundings and the ambient lighting.
Other changes at the front include a new bumper with a fine chrome lining highlighting the width of the car and adding a touch of class. There's also a new grille and a new bonnet that now gets a revised sculpting. Interestingly, the Octavia has also grown wider now, thanks to a wider rear track. The wheel arches are a tad bit more flared and give the car a beefier stance. Moving to the rear, the tail lights get revisions too, with LED lamps and a more prominent C motif that is trademark to Skoda. Step in and you will be welcomed by a fresher looking cabin. Grabbing attention instantly is a new 8-inch infotainment system. It gets a capacitive touchscreen that is on par with some of the most expensive tablets in terms of efficiency of the UI, crispness of the display, and smoothness of the menus and the transitions. Even the switches for the infotainment are nicely integrated within the touch panel. It also gets satellite navigation and the latest smartphone interfaces like MirrorLink, CarPlay, and Android Auto.
I just love this infotainment system. The look and feel is so premium. In fact, I like it than the infotainment systems in some of the more pricier cars. It lifts the mood of the cabin in here. It's certainly better than the Elantra, and the Corolla, well, it just makes it feel a little too primitive. Overall, the fit and finish of the cabin is as premium as you would expect in a typical Skoda Octavia. There are some clever touches too. You also get this little waste bin here, which fits right into the side door pocket. You get this plastic bag in here so you can throw all your stuff in and then get rid of it when you're out of the car. 1 liter bottle holders in all the 4 door pockets. So in terms of practicality, it's quite good. You get ample spaces in here. You also get 3 USB ports now. There's 1 here, 2 at the back. And speaking of the back seat, it is as comfortable as always. And for those who like to be chauffeur driven, you also get this new smartphone app which lets you control all the infotainment functions from the back.
The backseat of the Octavia was always a pleasant place to be in, and now it's gotten better with a new mood lighting system that lets you choose from 10 shades. The wider body hasn't made any changes to the cabin though. Skoda has also added the automated parking assist, which lets the car steer itself into a parallel or a perpendicular parking spot with only braking input required from the driver. 12 parking sensors aid this feature, but ironically, the parking camera still doesn't get dynamic guidelines. Mechanically, not much has changed. You still get 3 engine options to choose from: 1.4 and 1.8 litre petrols and a 2 litre diesel. The latter can be had with either a manual or a 6-speed DSG automatic option and will continue to be the more popular choice for the Octavia.
But my engine of choice, of course, is the 1.8 TSI. It puts out 180 PS of power, and this car weighs less than 1.4 tons. So that's a power to weight ratio of 131 PS to a ton. And that makes this car quite quick, and triple-digit speeds come up in no time.
The 7-speed DSG works beautifully with this engine with quick and smooth shifts. Engine braking is very effective too. The 1.8-litre variant also remains the only one in the lineup to get a multi-link rear suspension. At city speeds, it does tend to feel a little bouncy and there is a fair bit of roll. But with a full house or at highway speeds, the car settles down nicely. It maintains a good balance through corners and the increased track now provides marginally better stability than the outgoing car.
The 1.4 petrol and the 2-litre diesel get a compound axle at the back, and that means that the ride quality isn't as supple as the 1.8, but it is quite cushy, and the handling isn't as sorted as the 1.8. It doesn't feel as stout as the 1.8. So if urban duties, highway cruising or being chauffeured around is what you're looking for from the Octavia, then either of these engines make more sense.
The 1.4-litre petrol is on par with the competition and is tuned for better fuel economy than outright power. For short commutes in the city and occasional road trips, this is the variant worth settling for. But if frequent long-distance trips are what you're looking at with the Octavia, the diesel makes more sense with its strong mid-range grunt, relaxed highway cruising capabilities and better fuel efficiency. The 6-speed DSG adds the convenience of an automatic too that the 1.4-litre engine misses out on. The diesel automatic, however, misses out on paddle shifters, and the gearbox is a tad bit slow to respond to varying throttle inputs than its 7-speed cousin. That said, it will quickly move to higher gears to maintain better fuel economy.
These engines also claim marginally better fuel economy figures, but that's down to the better aerodynamics of the updated Octavia and not really any changes to the mechanicals.
On the safety front, you get up to 8 airbags, anti-lock brakes, traction control and hill hold assist. Skoda has also enabled the attention assist to remind the driver for taking a break after prolonged driving or if the car detects driver fatigue through vague driver inputs. There is a multi-collision braking system too, which will automatically apply the car's brakes in the event of a collision to prevent the car from deviating further and being a possible hazard to other vehicles around it.
With consumers inclining towards premium crossovers and SUVs, the executive sedan segment has seen a bit of a slump in the past few months. However, with the kind of kit and the safety features that the Octavia now brings to the table and the fact that the RS variant is going to join in by September, I think there's a lot of excitement that could come back to this particular segment. Add to it the fact that Skoda is also committed towards improving its overall service network and the quality of service and also being more transparent with its consumer in terms of sales as well as its service network. I think it's a big positive step, not only for the present and the prospective customers of the brand, but also for the products that Skoda is planning to launch in the country very soon.